Hello and welcome to today's video on entry modes. Before we get started, if you could like and subscribe for the latest simplified business school concepts. Let's begin by introducing the term entry modes. Entry modes are the ways in which a company expands its products, services, or knowledge into a foreign, non-domestic market. These can either be equity or non-equity. Equity entry modes involve taking full or partial equity ownership in a local firm, which typically involves establishing a physical presence in the host country. But these are very high risk due to the high expenditure required. The second mode of entry is non-equity, which does not involve owning equity in a local firm, but instead products, services and knowledge are transported overseas from home, resulting in a lower risk due to lower expenditure and initial startup costs. Let's begin by analysing equity entry modes, of which there exist three main types. Firstly, joint ventures. These are new commercial firms jointly formed by multiple businesses which retain separate identities. Firms benefit from shared risks and costs, access to partners' knowledge, and through political acceptance. But joint ventures offer limited control, shared profits, difficulty in coordinating, and potential conflict between partners due to divergent goals. Secondly, there are wholly owned subsidiaries, which are foreign subsidiary firms which are entirely owned by another company. These could be greenfield operations or full acquisitions. Greenfield operations involve establishing a foreign subsidiary from scratch, which benefits the company through greater control and protection of knowledge, but disadvantages the company due to its expensiveness, difficulty in integrating within the local environment, and slow setup time, because it takes a while to establish a greenfield investment. The other type of wholly owned subsidiary is a full acquisition. These involve fully purchasing the foreign subsidiary, and these are the most common type of foreign entry mode. Full acquisitions offer fast entry and the acquisition and protection of know-how or trade secrets. But full acquisitions are expensive, they may incur post-takeover issues between staff members, and they could be politically insensitive. Third and finally, there are partial acquisitions, which involve the acquisition of less than 100% of an existing foreign subsidiary's ownership. The benefits of these are an access to localized knowledge and operations and decreased expensiveness. But the disadvantages of partial acquisitions are that restructuring is necessary internally within the organization, particularly involving teams and organizational practices, in addition to potential conflict risks between the newly formed partners. The other type of entry mode, non-equity, also has three types, these being exports, licensing, and contractual agreements. Exports are the simple transfer of goods from one country to another. Direct exports are those exports completed by the company, whereas indirect exports are similar, but they involve an intermediary who exports on behalf of the company. Next is licensing, which is the exchange of proprietary technology and knowledge, such as patents, intellectual property, or trademarks, in exchange for a royalty fee paid by one firm to another. And lastly, there are contractual agreements. These are legally enforceable agreements between two businesses that governs their obligations to one another and their formal relationships, particularly concerning the transfer of goods, services, money, or knowledge. The advantages of non-equity entry modes are less risk due to the lower initial investment and the ability to concentrate exclusively on production, whereas the disadvantages of non-equity modes is a potential expensiveness over the long run, particularly due to the missed economies of scale which they would have achieved, they being the company, through equity investment. There is also a risk of being seen as a foreigner by the host market customers, and difficulty building market share due to these two factors. In summary, entry modes are the modes of how a firm enters another country, and these may be equity or non-equity. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please join us next time where we'll be discussing emerging markets.